Well, hello everyone, and thank you for attending today's Teachable Tuesday webinar on Google Your Business. Today marks our 6th webinar that Jess and I have hosted together, a new venture for us that we started in January and one that has been very rewarding, especially now that it seems that the new normal these days is social distancing. I don't know about each of you, but I really like people, so I'm ready to start invading some people's personal space. With the new normal, we've been forced to adjust. It has freed up some time to catch up and listen to a few podcasts. One that I listened to this weekend was by one of our very own members, the guys from the Ultimate Deck Shop. If I remember correctly, it was their 71st podcast and was on common options at each deck building stage, and made me think, whew, 71 podcasts to listen to? That could occupy a bit of my time. Anyways, at the WRLA, we just want to say great job to Shane and Wade. It was very educating and definitely had me giggling. So if anyone is wanting to get in some decking knowledge, look these guys up on social media. Okay, so let's get right down to business. Get the power of Google My Business and Google reviews working for your business. Did you know that businesses that respond to Google reviews are more profitable? Why? Because customers read Google reviews before they buy. Today we'll find out how to get more positive reviews and how to manage bad ones. Don't know a thing about Google listings, but want to find out? Adam and Stephanie will walk you through how to set up and manage your free Google listing. So let's get started with the webinar slides. So as stated, your WRLA staff is myself. I am your Member Services and Solutions Manager, and Jess, who will take over afterwards, she is your Trade Show and Event Manager. Just a few housekeeping items. Everyone is put on mute, but you should be able to hear the speaker who is talking. If you have any questions, please use the chat icon, and I think Jess already wrote something in it at the bottom of the screen, and then we will be monitoring those questions, and then we will review them at the end. And lastly, a copy of the slides will be sent after this webinar and will also be posted to our website. Okay, so let's get to better know our two hosts. Adam. Over the past 2.5 decades, Adam has developed and executed communications programs for organizations. As an expert at integrating public relations and advertising and marketing tactics, Adam's strategies build strong brand and polished corporate images. He launched Dooley PR Marketing as Dooley Communications in 2007 after an award-winning career as a reporter, educator, and corporate communications executive. He's former VP of Marketing Cambrian Credit Union. Prior to that, he helped manage communications at Asante Corporation. Adam holds an honors BA in history from the University of Saskatchewan and a master's degree in journalism from the University of Western Ontario. We've provided his LinkedIn, his Facebook, his Twitter, email, and website for future correspondence. And then the beautiful Stephanie. A lifelong learner, Stephanie has years of experience in management and client relations, working in a variety of industries, including dental, accounting, and retail, has given her a detailed look at the diverse nature of businesses, both large and small. She has created and managed social media and digital marketing strategies, developed sponsorship reports, wrote media releases, aided in event management, and created other marketing materials as needed for several organizations. Stephanie holds a BBA from Brandon University, a marketing management diploma, a public relations and strategic communications diploma, and a management certificate from the University of Winnipeg, post-degree program, and a project management certificate from Red River College. As well, we've provided her LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, email, and website. All right, so now that you've been introduced to our two presenters, I'm going to pass it on to Adam.
Great. I'm going to just share my screen here. Thanks very much, Erin and Jess, and welcome everybody. Sorry that we're meeting under these circumstances. I hope you're all doing well out there in your own social distancing world. It's been a strange thing for all of us to get used to, but let's talk about Googling your business and the Google My Business profiles that we can use as business owners and marketers. And think ahead to, not only what's going on during this COVID crisis, but how we can improve our business marketing once things are all over and back to normal. So what we're going to cover today. First, we're going to cover how Google is changing search and why reviews are important. And this is the whole nature of search and how Google is directing people to your company and your websites is vitally important for all small and medium-sized businesses, well, all businesses to understand. A lot of it relates to Google My Business, which is a suite of tools that Google has really been ramping up in recent years, and we'll talk a lot about that. We're going to talk about responding to reviews and why it drives more profitability, what to do about fake reviews, and then also how to generate positive reviews. Erin, we have the ability to do some polling through this webinar. So Erin, can you put up the first poll? We just want to get a sense of how much people are using Google My Business already, and we'll check back on those results in just a few minutes. Okay, just a little bit about us. Jess has already, or Erin has already introduced me, but a little bit about where I've come from. The company was founded in 2007, and when we founded it, it was really specializing in public relations, media relations, publicity, that sort of thing. And over the last 12 or 13 years, like so many other industries, ours has been disrupted by technology. So we found ourselves doing more and more social media management, creating social media posts, managing and building new websites, websites that had strong user engagement, had good SEO, search engine optimization. We added digital marketing to the mix, all of this driven by our customers who are really asking us to do this for them. And we included Google and Facebook and Instagram, where we run digital ad campaigns all the time. And today we're really managing that online sales funnel for our clients. Some of our clients include, well, I'm not going to list them all, but we've worked with really big ones like Ford, and we've worked with a lot of retail, including St. Patel Center. We've done quite a bit of healthcare and also worked with small companies like local funeral directors. Okay, so I want to start with a little bit of a story. A couple of weeks ago, I was in IKEA with my wife. We were shopping for a new captain's bed for my youngest son. We were renovating his bedroom, and we wanted to bring in a new bed with under bed storage and all that good stuff that people need in old houses like mine. And my wife had already done a lot of research on the kinds of beds that were available. And here we are standing in the IKEA showroom, and we're looking at a couple of the options. So what is the very common reaction that is going to trigger? Probably something that you've all done. For me, I wanted to find out a little bit more about the different products. We were wondering which one was better, which one was going to work better for us. So I dialed up the free Wi-Fi that IKEA offers, probably exactly for this purpose. And I started looking at the reviews on each of the captain's beds that we were looking at. And then I also looked, because my wife had already done research on other beds that were at other retailers. We went to another retailer's website and we looked at that bed, and we compared price, we compared specs, and we compared reviews. So it probably shouldn't be any surprise. That probably is nothing new to anybody. So it shouldn't be any surprise that 2/3 of shoppers actually search for reviews on a product or a service while they're in stores. So it's really important that we understand how much people are really relying on Google reviews. In order to really understand how to manage those reviews, though, we need to take a step back and look at how Google is changing our search and marketing universe. And they're changing it with something called zero-click search, which is maybe not something that you've heard of, but you've probably experienced it. Zero-click searching refers to a phenomenon that we're seeing a lot in digital marketing, where people are not clicking through to the websites after a search. They're using Google to search for something. They're finding enough information about what they're looking for just on Google's search results page, and they don't have to go any further. They don't have to click through to any other site, hence the zero-click search. This is now happening an amazing 44% of the time. It's a little bit less on desktop searches. So on someone's using a desktop computer, it's about 33% of the time they'll have a zero-click search, and more on mobile, about 55%. So that means that 55% of all mobile searches stop at the Google search result page. They don't go any further than that. They're getting enough information right there. So what used to be that there were on search engine result pages, SERPs, there used to be three main components. There were the actual search results, there was the query itself, and then there were ads. But now Google has added over the last few years maps, which you can click through and with one click get directions fed straight to your phone. If you have it fed into your automobile, you can get those directions fed straight into your auto as well. It includes reviews, it includes images and definitions and videos and shopping catalog listings if you're looking for a particular brand or product, and all of it on a zero-click search. The number of organic results are shrinking, and the volume of information that's readily available without clicking is rising a great deal. So what can we do about this? Does this mean that our websites are useless? Well, no, not at all. This is just something that we have to recognize, is that there's now this preliminary page that people are going to, and we have to know as businesses how to manage the information on that page. So this is everything that can be done without clicking forward onto your website now. They can get your phone number, your address, they can get directions, they can get your website address, they can get your hours, which is important these days with the COVID shutdowns and changes, your location, your physical location. They can access reviews, which we're going to talk about more in a little bit. They can order things, restaurants, you can actually book a table right from the Google page. They can see photos and videos that you post that other people have posted. They can also get coupons and deals that you post right on your Google profile, all without clicking. Now, it's really easy to claim your Google listing, and Stephanie is going to walk you through that in just a minute. And it's vital for businesses to do it. In fact, when a new business comes to us, a startup, the very first thing at the top of our tactical chart is to set up and claim the Google My Business listing. Search is so important the way we do things today that claiming your business profile is probably the very first thing you should do, because it's that before you even build a website, it's important to build this or to claim this profile. And according to Google, up-to-date profiles are nearly 3 times more likely to be considered reputable, 70% more likely to attract location visits, which makes total sense because people can one click and get the directions fed straight to their phone, and 50% more likely to lead to a purchase. Now I'm going to throw this over to Steph, and she can walk you through how to set up your Google My Business account.
Hi everybody, thanks Adam. Let me know if you can't hear me. How do you claim your Google My Business account? There are a few steps that you'll need to do this. The first thing you need to do is go to business.google.com. Next, you'll need to sign in. You'll need a Google account to do this, and this doesn't necessarily mean a Gmail account. You can sign up for a Google account using any email address. If you do need to do this, go to myaccount.google.com and follow the instructions on creating an account, and I'll just put that on the chat. You actually know that web address too. Hold on 1 second. All right. The next thing you'll need to do is that you'll want to search for your business. If it's already in Google's listing, it should show up. Make sure it's your business by looking at the address attached, assuming that it's correct in Google's listing. If it's not listed, you'll have to create it. To do this, follow the directions and continue to add information about your business that Google gets, so that Google has all of the relevant information. If your business has already been claimed by someone else, it will tell you. If you can't figure out who claimed it and has access to it, you can gain access by clicking where it says request access. This may take some time, but just follow the instructions that Google has laid out, and it might involve going back and forth with a Google representative, but it's an important step to keep your information accurate online. And once you have selected the proper listing, you'll be asked to verify that you're the owner of that listing. Google provides a few ways to do this. Select which is best for you: phone, text, email, or mail. Google uses the information that from the current listing. So if it's not accurate, don't use that one. We usually use the phone option and inform our clients ahead of time so that they're ready to answer the phone. This is an important step because it looks like one of those spam calls from fake Google that we always get. Regardless of which option you choose, you'll receive a code that you'll have to then enter. Once you've entered the code, you now have access to your Google My Business account. In your Google My Business account, it will look something like this. This is just a screenshot I took of our own Julie PR and Marketing Google My Business this morning, so you can take a look at what it looks like just even right now. So this is your Google My Business dashboard, and where you can change all of the information that Google has about your business. At the moment, the main section you'll want to focus on is the info section. From here, you can update your address and service area, hours, contact information, and all sorts of other information that your customers will be interested in. From that sidebar, you can also look at and answer reviews, check out some Google search engine insights, upload photos and product information, and add users to the account. There are a lot of things that you can do with Google My Business that will help Google determine what your business is and how your customers can find you. But we're just going over the basic setup today, so I'll hand the presentation back over to Adam.
Thanks very much, Steph. Yeah, if we could have scrolled down on this screenshot, you'd see that you can adjust just about everything on the Google My Business profile, and that's the profile that appears as a knowledge pane when you actually search your business. And so that's the question I have here for all of you. When was the last time you Googled your own business? It's a good idea to do this from time to time to see what Google is displaying. The best way to do it to see what a potential new customer is seeing is to open up an incognito window in your Chrome browser. I can't remember what the Microsoft browser calls it, but it's the hidden window, and you type in your business name. What you see is what your typical new customer is likely seeing when they search the same thing. So when you search for your own business like this, you'll be able to see at a glance if your location is accurately mapped, if your hours are displaying correctly, if your phone number is there, if your website is linked. It will also show if you have any Google reviews listed. So let's talk a little bit about reviews. And it's funny because when Jess and Aaron asked us if we could do a webinar, the very first idea that we had was, let's do one on Google reviews because they're so important to get to. And we realized when we were preparing the materials that we really had to take a step back and start with Google My Business, because it's the way to manage your entire Google profile, of which reviews are just one element. You can post coupons and photos and videos. You can also see photos and videos that are posted by customers as well. So there's lots of different things you can do with it. But talking just about reviews, why are reviews so important? Well, it turns out that there's been some research, a number of studies done that show that businesses that do well with Google reviews tend to do financially well too. The same goes for other reviews like Facebook or TripAdvisor or Yelp. Although Yelp isn't as big in Canada, it's big in the States. It may be big where you are. There may also be local search, review listings that are important in your areas. So we know that 86%, which is a whopping big number, 86% of consumers do read reviews for local businesses. And businesses that reply to at least a quarter of those reviews average 35% more revenue than the average business. Now, these are US-based stats, but I think it's safe to assume they're probably pretty comparable for Canada. So is this a chicken and the egg kind of question? Are the businesses successful because they're managing their reviews well, or are they managing their reviews well because they're successful businesses already? My view is that if you care about the reviews, it will have a beneficial ripple effect on your entire company. And I'll tell you why I think that in the slides ahead. So let's talk first of all about more profits. So fresh reviews are more valuable. Businesses with more than 9 recent reviews posted in the last 3 months earn 52% more revenue than the average business. 25 or more fresh reviews, fresh meaning the last 90 days, earn 108%, more than double than the average business. It's really important to understand that there is no need for perfection when it comes to reviews. In fact, 5-star reviews are often a signal of something a little hinky with a company, if hinky is the right word. So the sweet spot, according to statistics from Google and other digital marketing companies, say that the sweet spot for revenue and greatest success is to have a review average between 3.5 and 4.5 stars. Some studies I've seen say between 4 or 4.1 and 4.4 or 4.5, but that's right about where you want to be. And businesses that average 35 to 50% negative reviews, so even up to half of the reviews being negative, earn nearly the same as the average business. Now, hopefully there's no one on this webinar that has half of their reviews being negative, but it just goes to show that you don't need to be perfect, but it's beneficial to go after this. More is better too when it comes to reviews. Businesses that have more reviews than average earn 82% more revenue. And if you have 200 plus reviews, you're probably earning twice as much revenue as compared to the average business. And it's not just Google. It's really important to claim free listings wherever you can, and every market is a little bit different. Google is the most important one. Facebook is probably a close second, but TripAdvisor is another one. Yelp, I mentioned earlier, Better Business Bureau, or a local review engine can be beneficial as well. So let's talk about why. Why is this so important? And I think you'll see that it's both a symptom and a cause. It's a symptom of a business that's being well run. It's also a cause of more profits. So a negative review, we know, can drive away 40% of potential customers. And consumers are likely to spend almost a third more on products and services from businesses that have excellent reviews. So let's talk about why. And the answer is social proof. We're social animals as human beings. We like to have our views confirmed by others. We like to follow in what we think is a smart path already led. So it's important for us to see others doing something before, especially if we're unsure of making a purchase decision. If we can look at 10 people who have already made that decision, who have been really happy or reasonably happy, it makes our decision that much easier to do. So if we know that reviews are important, then why do businesses avoid them? Many businesses are, quite simply, just afraid to ask for reviews. This is our experience. This isn't from statistics. It's just my own experience and observation. They're afraid that they'll get a bad one. They're afraid that they don't know how to manage it properly. They're afraid of the technology, perhaps. But we know that most customers will actually leave a positive or semi-positive review when asked. And we also know that there's psychological reasons and research explaining why this happens. It's the psychological principle of reciprocity at play. So just the simple act of asking for help often triggers us to want to offer help. In this case, the help is in the form of a review. Hey, you seem really happy with the purchase today. We'd love it if you could leave us a review. And once asked, people want to help. It's just in our nature. And once we leave that review, here's where it becomes amplified. And one of the reasons why I think this works so well. Once we leave the review, we're much more likely to harden our positive impression or negative impression of the business. And that's because we like to defend positions that we've already staked out in public. If we've said that this is a great business to visit, that they offer great service, we will actually go out of our way to refer people to that business so that they can have the same experience and validate that opinion for us. I'm much more likely to refer people to a restaurant that I have left a good review for because I want them to reinforce that positive outlook. Aaron, can you put up I think I missed poll number 2. Why don't you go to poll number 2, and then we'll come back in a couple slides and do poll number 3. So the poll number 2 is just, do you ask for Google reviews? So we know that customers become more loyal when they leave a positive review. We also know that if you engage with them by responding to the review, it reinforces and rewards their decision to leave that review. It says, you know, if you received a great review and you say, hey, thanks, that's fantastic, we really appreciated you leaving that, come visit us anytime. It says to the person who's left the review, hey, I've done a good job and I've been given a pat on the back, so it makes them feel good. So that's enough reason alone, in our opinion, to respond to every single review, because you're just going to build that loyalty with the customer who's left it. But we also want to respond to every review because we know that many other customers and potential customers will come along and read them later. So our recommendation is to respond to every single review. And before you say, I don't have time, let me reassure you, it doesn't take a lot of time. One of the things with the Google My Business platform, for example, is you can get an app. It's really simple, easy to use app on your phone that allows you to respond really quickly. And when by quickly, I mean really quickly. If you get a good review, you just need to say, hey, thanks very much. It was a pleasure serving you. Come back anytime. Really quick review, response is all you need. For bad reviews, the thing I want you to remember about bad reviews is that when you respond to them, you're not responding really to the person who left the review. You're really writing for everybody else who's going to come along behind and read it. So what does that look like? Well, tips for answering bad reviews. First of all, we recommend you always take the high road, be sincere. It does not, there's just no upside to getting into a fight online with somebody who is already angry. And there's no point in disputing facts, even if they are completely wrong. The only thing you can do is suggest maybe they misinterpreted it, or perhaps you just offer a mea culpa and apologize, even if you know the person is a crackpot. Again, you're not writing for that person. You're writing for everybody else coming along and reading your response later. You want to show everybody else how you deal with complaints. And apologies can go a long way. Just for falling short of expectations. Hey, I'm really sorry that you had that experience in our store today or with our customer service person today. That is not the standard that we're expecting. And that kind of response can let people know who are reading that you do have certain expectations that they should expect as well. And I wouldn't try to get information in the thread of the review. If you want to dig deeper and find out more, which is often a really good strategy. Hey, I'm sorry that we didn't live up to our expectations, your expectations today. It doesn't sound like that we really did our job for you. I'd love to look into this in more detail. Can you please contact me at, and provide an email or a phone number. And that way you can take it offline and hopefully repair the relationship with the customer. Dealing with fake reviews. So fake reviews are a fact of life. Sometimes you just have nasty trolls who want to say awful things. Sometimes you have malicious competitors who want to say awful things. And sometimes you just have idiots who have left a terrible review for the wrong business. Let me tell you, they are very hard to take down. We have had direct experience with this with a number of clients. It is possible to get Google or Facebook to remove a fake review, but you need to demonstrate with a lot of evidence that they're fake, which means going to a great deal of effort to do it. Our recommendation with what we think are fake reviews is to assume positive intent. They may just have the wrong business. This happens more often than you think, and it's shocking actually how often it is. So if we get a review that disparages one of our clients, we'll respond, but we have investigated and we strongly suspect this is somebody who is actually not a customer, we'll write back and say, we're really sorry that you had this experience. It doesn't appear that your interaction or your customer experience is in our database, or we don't see any record of dealing with you that day, or whatever the case may be. I'd love to look into this more in more detail. Can I please contact you? Something like that. If they do continue and it just goes on and on and on and you can't get rid of them, then work with Google or Facebook or whoever it is and try to get them to shut it down. The last resort is to consider legal action, and it really is a last resort because then you're looking at a whole bunch of more expense and bother and hassle. The much better way to deal with negative reviews and fake reviews is to generate new positive reviews. Again, hearkening back to the slide a few slides ago, where we said you don't have to be perfect. That's a good thing to remember. Nobody's expecting a perfect 5-star rating. If you get a 1-star rating, then you just need several 5 stars or 4 stars to counteract that. And then the more recent reviews you have, the more that bad review gets pushed into the distance and is on the second page of results or the third page of results. And the further it goes back into history, the better. So the easiest way to generate positive reviews is just to ask for them. Again, this is the principle of reciprocity. Just asking for people to give you a review. You'd be surprised at how often they'd be willing to do it. You can, if you're a retail outlet, it's a common strategy to offer a prize draw. So I know that Rona does this. Fill out our review or conduct or fill out our survey at the end of the receipt, and you'll be entered into a draw for $1,000, I think it is. You can offer to send them a link from your Google My Business profile. If you have email or a text to attach to your customer, you can send them updates with your other marketing that can include a link to a Google review. The best time is to ask at the conclusion of service. That's when people are most likely going to want to give you a review. There are many apps to choose from that can help you in this way. These are a few: Trustpilot, GatherUp, and a few others. The way the apps usually work is that they provide a bit of a filter rather than just sending anybody, including unhappy people and happy people, straight to Google. If you offer to get a review through one of these apps, they often will screen it for you. So if you get a 1-star or 2-star review, let's say you send the link to someone's phone and they give a 1-star review, then that triggers an opportunity to contact the person directly before they go onto Google and leave the public review. And then star ratings of 3, 4, and 5 are sent directly to Google instead. And again, if you have the Google My Business app on your phone, you get immediate notification of all Google reviews. So earlier I said that doing well with Google reviews, sorry, Aaron, you can put up the final poll too. So I said that doing well with Google reviews will have a beneficial impact on your entire company. And I just want to explain that a little bit more because it's important to dwell on why this all works. So if you're asking for more reviews, you're going to need to be talking to customers more and talking to them and looking at the reviews will give you a chance to listen to them more. It'll also give you an opportunity to teach customer service moments within your store. We really recommend especially if you're a B2C, like business to consumer company, you should be reviewing Google reviews regularly with your staff so that the frontline staff see what's going on. The good stuff is excellent. It's a good motivator. It's a good pat on the back for people who are singled out by a customer for good service. And the negative reviews, if you get them, when you get them, it's a good opportunity just to say, hey, how can we do this better, right? It's a fantastic teaching moment, right, that you can do without being overtly critical. So as you do all this, you'll be able to learn how to improve, which again, this is that cascading virtuous cycle that you can get by really focusing on this. You'll also find that just the simple act of talking to your customers more will make the relationship that much stickier. You'll get more referrals. You'll get more business from existing customers as well. And you'll be able to make a vast improvement in your online marketing, which will drive more business. And I just want to dwell, before we turn it over to questions, I want everyone to recognize that Google is the behemoth in digital marketing. And it is throwing a ton of resources at making Google My Business very, very important. And Google reviews are vital for Google My Business. So that can tell you, and we know anecdotally, when Google does this, that means that that's the strategy it wants people to follow. So this is low-hanging fruit for marketers. You should be focusing on doing a good job on your Google My Business profile and trying to generate reviews. And by doing that, you will see a lift from Google in your organic search rankings and other traffic measures. So I'd really encourage you to start doing this today. If you haven't set up your Google My Business page, then do it. It's really easy. And then go ask one customer for a review if you haven't done that before. I'd love to hear how it went. Jess, that's it for me.
Thanks.
If there's any questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was really interesting. I wanted to just note, somebody posted that the audio was a little poor during Steph's section on the Claim Your Google My Business thing. And I wasn't sure, Steph, if we'd mind going back on the slides and just quickly
Sure.
demonstrating that one again to everybody, because I
again.
think it got it cut out at our end, and some people commented on that just showing that, because that would be awesome.
Is this audio better?
Yes, we can hear you now.
I have no idea what happened. It could be because I have a crack right where my microphone is.
Yeah.
But, you know, the little things.
Yeah.
Okay. So to claim your Google My Business account, there's a few steps that you'll need to do. And the first thing is to go to business.google.com, as you can see on the slide there. And the next thing you'll need to do is to sign into your Google account. And this doesn't necessarily mean a Gmail account. You can actually use any email address to make a Google account. And if you do need to do this, you go to myaccount.google.com. And I put that site on the chat bar as well, so you should be able to see that. And then just follow instructions on how to create a Google account there. Then you'll want to search for your business. If it's already in Google's listing, it should show up. Just make sure it's your business by looking at the address attached to it, assuming that it's correct in Google's listing. If it's not listed, you're going to have to create it. So to create it, you have to follow directions and continue to add information about your business so that Google gets all the relevant information that it needs. If your business has already been claimed by someone else, it will tell you. And if you can't figure out who that is and who has access to it, you can gain access by clicking where it says request access. And so if you do click the request access button, it may take some time, but just follow the instructions that Google has laid out and you should be able to get access to it eventually, though it might involve getting back and forth with a Google representative to actually prove that you are the owner.
They're fairly responsive too.
Yeah.
Part of the setup too, I'll just interject, is that they'll ask you what industry you're part of as well. And that's a really important thing. You might qualify in a couple of different industries. And that will, when people are searching for, say, lumber yards near me, that's where Google gets that information. And that's how your business gets on those maps. So it's really important to fill that out as accurately as possible. Go ahead.
So yeah, so it's important to claim it so that you actually have the accurate information online. And if it's not accurate, it's harder to claim because you have to go through Google's, rather than you changing it yourself, Google has to verify it a different way, and it just takes a lot longer. So then once you've selected the proper listing, you'll be asked to verify that you're actually the owner. Google provides a few ways to do this. You can select which one is best for you: phone, text, email, or mail. And Google uses the information that is in the current listing. So we usually actually use the phone option and inform our clients ahead of time so that they're ready to answer the phone. And this is an important step because it really, like, caller ID looks like one of those spam calls you get from fake Google, asking if you claimed, and it's not actually them. So regardless of which option you choose, you'll receive a code that you'll then have to enter, and it's, I believe, a 6-digit code. Once you've entered the code, you now have access to your Google.
Just cut out again.
You're fading there again, Steph.
Yeah, Stephanie faded there again.
Oh no, is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, so then this is what Google dashboard looks like, and This is our GDPR marketing Google dashboard. I just took it this morning, so it's super up to date. And you can change all the information that Google has about your business through this dashboard. And at the moment, the main section you'll want to focus on, especially if you've never claimed it before, is the info section, which is being circled there. From here, you can update your address and service area, what industry you're in, whether it's the main industry is lumber and then the sub industry, I'm sorry, I don't know, concrete? Yeah. But the primary one is the one that Google focuses on, and then the subsequent ones help with search.
Awesome.
You can also change. Sorry, Adam?
We've got a post there that just says your latest post. I just put that up this morning, actually, just to illustrate that you can do this. So when you search for our company now, that post will come up in our little company listing, the little box that outlines who we are and when we're open. So that's the kind of thing you can do. You can put coupons up there too, or deals. You can put specials up there. You can post photos, all kinds of different things that you can do.
Awesome, thanks.
So,
well, we have a question actually from someone about Google reviews. The question is, why aren't reviews that customers are leaving showing up recently? Is it due to COVID-19, or do I need to do something that the reviews are processed in the back end?
So these are reviews that you know have been given? Or
yeah, I'm presuming that these are reviews that they are aware of and they haven't shown up recently. Do they need something to get the reviews processed or approved at the back end, or should they automatically be showing up?
They should be automatically showing up. Now, I know Google has warnings everywhere that due to COVID-19, some things might be delayed. So if they're very recent, that could be the reason. Otherwise, I would question whether they've been left on Google. Maybe the customer left it on Facebook and thought it was Google.
Okay.
It should be fairly...
so there's nothing a business has to do to approve or see the review processed? No.
No, you'll be notified if you've set up your Google My Business listing. You'll be notified immediately. Whoever owns the listing, so whoever controls the email address that's attached to it, will get that notification. And if you have the app, it'll go straight to your phone.
Okay, so I have another question here regarding Google search results. So Google search results produce some different results depending on the user. How often and with how many different persons/users do you suggest Google searching your business? What can someone do with the varying results to improve search results?
Could you repeat that again? Sorry.
Sure. So I think the question is Google search results produce different results depending on the user? I'm assuming that means typing it in. Yeah. How often, with how many different users do you suggest Google searching your business? I'm thinking this, and I'll ask this person, is how do you, I think, raise your profile in Google searches? What can someone do with the varying results to improve search results for your business?
You come back for the webinar that we're going to do on search engine optimization.
Great answer. You'll need to tune in again.
Well, just briefly, so Google's search engine, so they send out what they call spiders across the entire internet, and these spiders search every single website on the web, but they don't search every single page every single time. They usually search the homepage, and then occasionally every few weeks they'll search your entire website just to make sure that they're getting the most up-to-date information. So your search results, everyone's search results will be slightly skewed and customized based on your own search history. I think that's where the coming from.
Yeah.
So it's not that Google is doing manual searches; it's all automatic, and the best way to improve your search results is through good SEO tactics, which actually starts with Google reviews in your Google My Business profile, because emphasizing that.
Yeah,
it's doing good work on your website. Like you want to work on your user experience. You want to make sure that you're using good keywords on your website so that you're gathering that search traffic for those kinds of things.
Okay, that's great. Well, I have another question here. How effective are sales and posts on Google My Business? Do you find this would improve your SEO/SEM?
So Google is very close-lipped about whether this actually improves your SEO, but anecdotally, the many articles that I've read on this from really top SEO experts indicate that they believe it does help. So and it makes sense because Google's done this kind of thing before when they want to emphasize a product offering of their own. They tend to reward people who use it.
Mm-hmm.
There was another part of the question I forget now. Jess, can you repeat it?
Do you find this would improve your search engine optimization?
So, and how good are
posting your sales?
If you post the sales and coupons. So again, when you're looking in a world that's about zero-click search, and you know that more than half of all mobile searches are stopping on that search results page, then I would say it's worthwhile posting a coupon or a deal or a sale or a special. I know anecdotally that Google is driving results in that way, but I don't have any firsthand information on it. So try it. I would say experiment.
Test it out. Yeah.
It's free. It's absolutely free. So it's a good way just to spend a few minutes and put it out there.
Okay, got another question from one of the attendees. This question is, I sell to dealers, and I'm going to assume he means retail dealers. How do I get the end users to review my business? So do you have some specific suggestions around getting them to review? So this would be someone, I'm hoping I'm saying this correctly, is that they sell a product to a person who sells to the public. How do they get them to review their supplier's business?
That's a great question. So if you don't have control of your own customer email list or the end user email list, then you might need to do an end run, ask for reviews on social media. If you engage with some of your end user customers on social media or in any other way, that would be a place to ask them. You might be able to work with your retailers or dealers, although that would probably be more difficult, I imagine, because they're looking for their own boost, not really to help you so much.
So do you recommend any like a contest? You mentioned Rona was doing contests, but what about things like promotions for a supplier to their retail dealer to encourage that?
Yeah, so if you've already got a good social media following on an Instagram, for example, that would be a good place to do it, because you could presumably anybody who's there is familiar with your product and is probably a fan. So that would be a good place to offer an incentive. You know, maybe you do a prize draw of something in exchange for a Google review. That might be one way to do it. Yeah.
That's great.
Also, sorry, you could also just ask the person selling to the retailer.
Sorry, Steph, we can't hear you again.
Sorry, is that better? I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
You can probably just even ask the person you contact with at the retailer. Because it doesn't necessarily need to be the business that's reviewing you. It could literally just be the person you're dealing with saying how great you are to deal with. So just even ask.
I think we've lost your audio, Steph. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Jess.
Okay, so the next question is, I keep getting calls saying that they're Google and want to fix my listings, saying that, so he's laughing already, saying that some of my listings have different lower and uppercase on my name. Is this important or is this just scammers? And if so, how do I get them to stop calling?
Oh, I wish you could get them to stop calling. They owe us too. So that they are, it's a scam, but it's sort of a quasi scam. There are companies out there who are basically saying, we'll do for you for a price what you can do for yourself for free using Google. So some of them are probably completely fake. Anyway, we all get them, and you just have to hang up and forget about them. There's anybody can do this on their own. You don't have to hire anybody to do it. I mean, we're engaged by our clients to help manage their Google My Business profile. So if you work with an agency like ours, they probably are familiar with this already. If they're not, they will be soon, because it's so important. So
if it was legitimate, they could just go in and fix it themselves.
Totally. So
okay.
no, but there's another part of that question though that's important. So if you have, you could be that you have more than one listing. And
oh yes, yeah.
And so we've had that experience before, and often it happens when you move a location or you set up a new location, or you've just forgotten that you claimed it before, or a previous employee did and you forgot. whatever the reason, you can close a listing, and I would encourage you to do that. So search out, if you can identify which listings you have, and then you can work with Google to close the non-relevant ones and just hunker down to one. That's the best way.
Oh, okay. So it is possible to end up accidentally getting two Google profiles.
Yeah, it can.
Okay.
You can do that. Yeah, and it's a bit of a pain, but you can sort it out. Just work with Google. They want to clean it up as much as you.
Oh, okay. So I wanted to circle back around. You were talking about all these apps and all these great things, and a lot of our members are on the go all the time. Can they check and update Google My Business without an actual computer? Like you mentioned apps and other
Yes.
things. How do they do that?
So I've got it on my phone, and it's a really simple app to use on your phone. So I get a notification every time my company gets a Google review, and we've set it up so that Stephanie gets it as well. So if I'm not available, she can respond. And within that app on my phone, I can update hours. I can update anything I can do on my desktop. The same screens that Stephanie was showing you in the slide presentation. All of that is available on your phone as well.
Oh, that's great. So you mentioned too, you get a notice when you get a review. So if people are getting drawn into Google reviews and find themselves in a conversation about a service issue that they don't want to talk about there, what should they do to avoid discussing it in a public forum?
That's a great question. So my recommendation is don't discuss it in a public forum, especially if you're trying to resolve a service issue. I would direct people to call the store, call your business, contact you by email. You can leave that information in the Google review. They will get that notification.
Yes.
So once you respond to the review, the person who left the review will get a notification that there's been a response.
Okay.
So have the opportunity to read it.
And then the public can see that you attempted to resolve it through private messaging.
Correct, exactly.
Awesome. So I have another question here. Does it help much to advertise on Google? Currently, I'm being offered a $100 advertising credit.
Yeah, Google is, there's a reason why Google has become $1 trillion company, and so is Facebook. I think Facebook is $1 trillion, will be soon if it's not. It's because collectively advertising agencies and large corporations and small companies everywhere have been shifting their ad spend onto these platforms. And they've shifted them there because that's where the eyeballs are and they work. So yes, it works. I would encourage you to give it a try, and it's not too hard to get started on. Google's ads can become complex. It's not something you can just set and forget. You have to be on top of it. Because you can lead to a lot of expensive clicks, like when you're buying pay-per-click advertising, that means every single time someone clicks on one of your ads, you're paying. It might be $1, it might be $2. It depends on how much competition there is for that.
So $100 could possibly
$100 could go pretty quickly. Probably would. So
not go too far.
Yeah, it really depends on your market. $100 in a small market can probably go quite a long way. I would say, well, quite a long. It's not going to go forever, but it's a good test in a small market, especially.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Well, I think I have one more question here. How do we know if your Google business profile has gotten claimed? Now, does that sort of hark back to what Steph was saying when you do the search?
Yes, exactly.
And what do you do if someone else has claimed your profile?
So this happens all the time. We work with clients, and often they'll come to us and they'll say, well, I think a former employee claimed it, but I don't know, and I don't know what email address they used. And so when you go into the process of trying to claim the profile, it will say that is already claimed, and you can request access from the current owner. And that current owner then, whoever owns that email address, will get a notification. Now, if that email address is no good, or it's, that person isn't there anymore, or whatever it is, but you can't get a hold of them, then you can still work with Google to claim that. You just have to provide some proof to Google that you are the legitimate owner of that business profile. And it might take a couple of weeks, but you can usually sort it out.
Okay. I have one more question before we wrap up. This is interesting, and I'm not sure if you're going to know the answer. Do you know what percentage of have seen an increase in daily Google searches post-COVID isolation practices? Like, have you seen any statistics on the rapid increasing of Google searches since everyone's stuck at home with computers?
Yeah, I have, and that's an interesting question. I don't know the answer to that. I wonder if it's
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see if that gets studied, of the peak searches. And I mean, I guess right now too, is it's probably an ideal time for everybody to work on their Google My Business profile because of everyone being at home looking with eyeballs on there. But that's definitely something we should follow up on in the future, is to see what a year later, what happened with those searches.
I can direct you to a free Google site. It's called Google Trends. If you
Okay.
Google Trends, TRENDS.
Yeah.
And you can use it. You can use Google Trends to find out what people are searching for.
Oh, cool. That's great. Well, that's a good tip too.
Yeah, and you can actually enter, some of your favorite, your top products or services that you offer, and Google will spit back results that are where actual search results are intersecting with what you're curious about. So you can
Probably going to be a lot of people looking for toilet paper or something.
Yeah, toilet paper. Yeah,
probably the peak search right now.
yeah. I know a lot of my friends are painting rooms right now.
Yes, yeah, that's what I did on my day off. My days off too.
I bet paint sales have spiked. Yeah.
Yeah, paint. Well, thank you so much. Oh, sorry, Steph.
Sorry. Also, presumably there is more searching because when you go into your Google My Business profile, you actually have a specific COVID-19 update that you can post on there,
Oh, yes.
so you can keep people more up to date. And it's kind of the first thing you see in dashboard is that COVID-19 update information. And then also if you go to posts and you make a new post, that's one of the first things that you can do is a COVID-19 update, so you can keep your customers informed of what your policies are. And so that's kind of a really important thing right now. And it also shows that there is more search just because Google added this new feature.
That's great. Well, Erin just posted out where to find that for everybody in the chat function. So if anybody wants to take a peek and look at that, that would be awesome. So we're wrapping up here at 1:30. I just want to thank you, Adam, for your time, and Stephanie for your time today. This was really interesting, and I'm really so excited that everyone had lots of great questions. I think we've definitely found a line of topics for future webinars to carry on down. As you said, we can do our next one. I just wanted to let everybody know that the next webinar will be April 28th on building your winning team, engagement and succession planning with Diane Taylor of Glow Leadership. And I wanted to remind everybody that today's webinar will be it is being recorded. We're going to post the link, and I will send everybody a copy of the link, and it will be posted on the WRLA.org website under webinars, past webinars. Thank you so much, everybody, and we look forward to seeing everybody at the next webinar. Thanks.